was a who's who of tech. The billionaires were front and centre at Donald Trump's inauguration ceremony on Monday. Tech CEOs like Elon Musk, Xu Chu, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos and Sundar Pichai looked on in the front row, with Trump's cabinet choices sitting further away.
And the mainstream media took no time having a meltdown over Silicon Valley titans getting these front row seats. MSNBC hosts Rachel Maddow, Joy Reid, and Alex Wagner discussed the scene. Let's watch.
Kristi Noem, the nominee for Homeland Security, next to Apple CEO Tim Cook. How is this happening?
Only in America.
How is this happening? Why are people with tons of money up on the dais with cabinet nominees and family members?
It is a message.
It is a message, and I think I think they are up there for the very reason that you probably think they're up there.
It is a pivotal moment here. Jeff Bezos, the billionaire owner of the Washington Post and Amazon and that space company, standing in front of RFK Jr., the wildly controversial nominee to be Health and Human Services Secretary, one who, interestingly, has not yet had his confirmation hearing scheduled.
And I believe that's Sundar Pichai from Alphabet. Right in the middle as well.
CNN host Jake Tapper had this to say.
So we see Mark Zuckerberg on the left there with the curly hair, CEO of Meta. Tim Cook, his face is blocked, but he has the white hair, CEO of Apple. Jeff Bezos on the right there, the bald gentleman looking to his right, CEO of Amazon. The gentleman behind Mark Zuckerberg is Sundar Pichai. He's the CEO of Google. And Anderson, between those four people, plus Elon Musk from Twitter or X, those five people that I just mentioned, the four in the photograph and also Elon Musk, control so much of the information that we receive. So much is in their hands when it comes to ascertaining, monitoring, or refusing to monitor what is real, what is not real. And we're about to enter an era of deep fakes and all sorts of misinformation. And the degree to which those five gentlemen play a role or do not play a role will be pivotal in terms of where the American people are 4 years from now, in terms of understanding what is true and what is false.
The Daily Show also jumped in and wrote on X, "Fun fact, the combined net worth of the tech CEOs in attendance is F the homeless $1 billion." Joe Scarborough in today's Morning Joe said this about the inauguration.
There's your split screen. We've got the grim speaker with the Daily News and the golden age of America with the New York Post. And Willie, I think that about sums it up. What yesterday's festivities were for an electorate that was pretty much evenly divided. You know, there are a lot of people that listened to what he said yesterday, voted for him, and said, "Yay, America, we're coming back." And then there were others who actually looked at data and looked at facts and realized that our economy is stronger relative to the rest of the world than it's ever been.
I want to circle back to that Morning Joe clip in a minute, but first, look, here's how I would respond to what Rachel Maddow and Joy Reid and people are saying about, and Jake Tapper, about the concentration of power and tech power and all getting behind Donald Trump. I mean, I would remind people on the left or progressive circles that these were not all, but most of them, people who were completely anti-Trump going back to 2016. So we have to ask ourselves, what did Democrats do to alienate them to this degree? And I have an answer to that. We are hearing conversation about, they control so much speech and information, and that is true. But I would say that government agencies and Democratic political officials asserted the right to have that same level of control over their companies, vis-a-vis all of the guidance about restricting COVID stuff, election stuff, Hunter Biden stuff, all threats to use antitrust to break up their companies, threats to take away Section 230 and increase their massive financial liability for content. Some of these were bipartisan. Some of these Republicans engaged in. I think with Republicans it was more about score settling and punishing enemies, which is not to defend it. I think that was a bad idea. I've inveighed against it a lot. But I think it was more ideological for a lot of the leaders of the Democratic Party that we need to bring these people to heel. We resent that the ability to control what kind of content is on Facebook or is on Google belongs to the people who run Facebook and Google. We want that kind of level of power. And when it became clear to Mark Zuckerberg and Sundar Pichai and the rest of them that, holy crap, if we give into Democratic people, we're going to not be in charge of our own companies anymore. They're going to be in charge of our companies. And so now they're all in bed with Trump. They are. They've moved. There's been a massive shift to the right. That's undeniable. They're up there, yes, for a reason. I agree with that. They are up there because they are lightly or explicitly in the Elon case, but the other cases lightly backing Trump. They want to be on good terms with him because they want to push back against Democratic attempts to take over their companies. I would just say, well, that was inevitable if you overreached to this degree and tried to destroy them.
I would push back, I think, on the characterization of wanting to bring people to heel. I think there is a absolutely legitimate public concern and other concern about misinformation and disinformation and the capacity for that to be propagated through social media channels. Now, of course, that requires some balancing of free speech rights with the imperative to prevent outright lies being told about matters of very important public interest. We did talk about the Hunter Biden matter, which I don't think Democrats covered themselves in glory about at all. I thought that was a very bad mishandling of that issue, to say the very least. But I don't really, the issues like COVID or like incitement to hatred and all of that, you and I have very different views on. In relation to the tech CEOs themselves, I think I have a less high-minded interpretation of their actions than you do, in that I just think they have detected what way the political wind was blowing prior to President Trump's victory in the November election, and they have sought to suck up to him in various ways. Zuckerberg and I believe Jeff Bezos journeying down to Mar-a-Lago, Zuckerberg talking in very positive terms about Trump, Bezos also been professing his supposed optimism about a second term. I just think this is an attempt to avoid negative government action. In Musk's case, I think, take advantage of a friendly government to boost his government contracts and so on and so forth. So I think they have basically selfish reasons and, whatever.
They have self-interested reasons.
Right.
It would be delusional to expect them not to. They're the heads of companies. They have duties to their shareholders, right? They have to maximize the value of their companies, and they have correctly, in my view, probably correctly in your view too, calculated that is going to be more maximized now under a Trump administration, particularly if they're on good terms with him, than the other way. And I would defend my characterization of brought to heel. For Zuckerberg in particular, the level of apocalyptic rhetoric leveled at him after 2016, that he specifically bore moral responsibility for Trump's win. That's what Hillary Clinton said. She said Zuckerberg should pay a price for damage to democracy, and that was based on not even the broader complaints about too much misinformation on the platform, but specific Russian interference complaints that the media just went over their skis about. And I do not think, I think we're very much exaggerated how much impact they actually had on the election. They were not. The number of bots on the platform was much lower than suggested. A number of Russia-related scandals, including Cambridge Analytica, when you looked at it closer, they actually didn't have the information to precisely target swing voters or target voters in swing states or target voters who weren't already voting for Trump. It was extremely, the way it was presented, like mind control was happening, like you were pressing a button and you were switching people from one column to another. That I would say was itself, I wouldn't use the word misinformation. I would say it was bad opinion. But there's that. And
do you not have concerns, though, about, regardless of what side of the divide they fall on, do you not have concerns, given your libertarian beliefs, on people who have such control over the social media information that we receive being aligned with one politician or another?
Well, in an ideal world, they would not, they would be, in their personal capacity, they can do whatever they want, but
right,
the companies would be viewpoint neutral and politically neutral and would not be biased toward one or the other. I mean, now Elon Musk is clearly very interested in whole hog promoting right-wing and conservative media on his platform. I don't even know that Mark Zuckerberg or Sundar Pichai or Tim Cook are saying any of that. They're just saying, when we get a phone call to take down X, Y, or Z from a leftist nonprofit or the State Department or something, we're going to think twice this time. I think that's good. I understand the fear that progressive people will have of very wealthy private interests overly influencing the government. There, maybe we can find some common ground. But my bigger fear is the government influencing those things is violating the rights in terms of free speech or the right to profit and make money to be successful with these companies. And I'm very much in the tech libertarian category, where I want these companies to thrive and be successful and remain American and be part of a really economically successful chapter in the American experience. I'm really become increasingly horrified by what so many other countries in every direction have done to break the ability of tech to. It's not just about profiting. It's not like, it matters so much to me that Zuckerberg makes another $1 billion, but AI is going to be a very important and very liberatory and transformational technology that can improve people's lives. Most technological improvements in communication spaces improve people's lives. That doesn't mean there aren't trade-offs or there aren't bad things that we got to watch out for. But like Elon Musk, I want to put a mission on Mars. I think that's great. Now I understand your contracts kind of concern, but broadly speaking, I do want to unleash these companies to make a lot of money. Sure, they're going to make a lot of money in the process, but to do a lot of good for the American people.
And they'll be very close to Mr. Trump while doing so, apparently.
And I forgot what I was going to say about the whatever Morning Joe said at the end, but oh well.
Another time.
We've said enough. That does it for us today on Rising. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss any content. And for those of you who like to listen while on the go, we're now available anywhere you can find podcasts. It's somehow only Tuesday. We'll be back tomorrow. See you then.